Ah yes, the role everyone seems to get auto-filled into, or the role people play because they don't want to farm. Whatever the reason is, today's spotlight is on the support role. So without further ado, here are 10 things that only support mains will understand. Number 1. People taking your cannon minion. Some of the time, not all of the time, but some of the time, ADCs will forget when you have a relic shield and will take the cannon minion right in front of your eyes, even when you ping it. It can be a forgetful thing, or maybe they just don't even know that both of you get gold from it. This happens sometimes even after the laning phase is over. You'll go and try and get a cannon when you're roaming or something, and someone on your team will still try and take it first because they think you're stealing from them. There goes half of your income as a support. Number 2. Being the sacrifice on the team. So in a lot of cases, as the support, you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for the team. It's usually better for you to go down instead of your fed teammates. Your theoretical fed teammates, of course. Which is fine, you know, I feel like if you're a support main, you're already willing to take one for the team. With that being said, you could perform the most heroic act of your life, flashing right in front of that Caitlyn ult before it hits your ADC, or taking a hook from the enemy support. But unfortunately, at the end of the game, you'll still be the one who's getting called out for feeding. It's a sad life for support sometimes. Number 3. Getting no recognition. We might as well just rip off the band-aid with this one. Support probably gets the least amount of recognition in the game. You could have the most insane game of your life and get your team unbelievably fed. You could be the sole reason your team ends up winning that game, but at the end of the day, you already know those honors aren't going to you. I will say, usually the ADC will recognize a good support when they see one and will give you the honor, but that's about all you're getting. Just the one, if you're lucky. Number 4. Getting a bad ADC. I feel like this one is kind of self-explanatory. Let's be honest, it's a duo lane, and especially in solo queue, you're bound to get some potato partners down there. Now before all you ADC mains get all riled up, I will say it is a double-edged sword. If one of you's bad, it makes the entire lane kind of hard, but because this is a support video, it sucks to get a bad ADC. A very large majority of your role depends on whether or not you have a decent ADC, because you're both kind of boned if they suck. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Number 5. Not being able to carry. If you had to choose one role in the game that makes you feel completely useless, it would probably be support. Support doesn't have the same carry potential as mid or jungle, or honestly any of the other roles. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't carry as support, because you definitely can. In fact, there are a lot of champions out there like Morgana, Brand, Lux, Swain, who can deal an insane amount of damage and end up carrying the game themselves. But this usually isn't the case. Most of the time, you're stuck playing a tanky CC champion, which is fine because I mean, that's pretty much your job, being a support, you know? But it doesn't leave a lot of room for you to carry if you need to. It's more of a carry laning phase and do good things around the map early so your team can carry later kind of role. But if you got a bad team, well then, that's when you really feel useless. Also on top of that, if you did want to carry, it's even harder because you're pretty much underleveled the entire time. There's nothing like trying to fight a mid or top lane that's 3 levels up on you. Yo, I hope you're enjoying the video. Please consider liking and subscribing. A lot of you watching aren't actually subbed to me, so it would mean so much to me if you did. Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Number 6. Getting camped. I'm not gonna lie, I am probably going to put this in every one of these videos, but for good reason. Getting camped just sucks in general, and when it comes to bot lane, it can be especially brutal. Having the enemy constantly come down and get a kill is bad, but when the enemy jungle camps you and they start picking up double kills, that's when it can get really rough. Sad face. Number 7. Having to ward everything. Along with keeping your ADC and team alive, warding and getting vision is one of the support's primary jobs. However, typically what ends up happening is you as the support end up having to ward everything yourself because your team does nothing. They'll occasionally drop a ward or two, but at the end of the game, you're the one who's going to be carrying the vision score. On top of that, you'll find yourself constantly dying trying to get vision for your team because no one else will. Number 8. Freezing the wave. This is a very specific one, but if it hits home with even one person, I feel like it'll have been worth including. As the support, wave management can be a huge part of your job. If you get to lane earlier than your ADC, setting up one good freeze can win you the lane or even the game. However, especially in low elo, you may set up the perfect freeze only to have your ADC come in 5 seconds later and just hard shove it in. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. Number 9. Clash banners. Okay, so I mentioned this one for top lane a while back because it literally scares the crap out of me sometimes. But what I didn't realize is that bot also has one. And apparently it also scares a lot of you down there too, so I had to include it in this video as well. Plus, to make things even worse, there's 2 of them. I still don't get why it literally spawns like right when you're supposed to get ganked. Number 10. Getting flamed by your ADC. I think this kind of goes with number 4, but if something goes wrong in bot, you already know who's going to get the blame. Whether or not it's actually your fault is a completely different story, but nevertheless, you're more than likely going to get some friendly messages.
You monkey support. Why you so bad? ?
Honorable mentions go to getting blamed for roaming, getting stuck with an autofill ADC who doesn't understand what kiting is, having to deal with Morgana's stupid black shield, having to deal with Brand in general, having the ADC tell you to play a specific champion in champ select even though you've never played that champion before, getting yelled at by the ADC to peel more. On that note, if you're sick of getting yelled at by randos on your team or you're just looking for friends in general, consider joining my Discord. We have a great community of people who just want to hang out, chill, and occasionally play some League. Also, we just hit 3K members, so in celebration we're doing some small giveaways. Anyways, that is 10 things that only support mains will understand. If I missed anything, feel free to leave it in the comments. And before people get a little feisty, ADC mains, I'm looking at you. I want you to know that I've done a video like this for top lane and jungle already, and I plan on doing one for ADC and mid in the future, so just know that your moment will come. But for now, hopefully this gave you a little perspective through the eyes of a support main, and maybe you'll even consider giving that honor to your support next time you're in a game. Oh yeah, also one quick disclaimer, I'm not a support main at all. In fact, if you ever see me in your ranked game or even a normal game playing support, you should probably dodge. Some of my support main friends helped with the ideas for this vid, so a big shout out to them. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye! And I didn't even do an accent this time.